Good morning students. So today we are going to start second unit. In that we will be discussing about pure substances. Okay. So our second chapter is matter around us pure? Okay. Now see the picture. There are some consumable items. This is salt, this is pure ghee, and this is milk. Now if you notice, a word pure is written on most of the things which we buy in the market. There something is written, means a pure word is used. Now what does this mean? Pure word to a layman, if a normal man, if we ask a normal man that what do you mean by pure, then what he will say? He will say that there is no adulteration. There is no adulteration, then it is pure. Adulteration means to add some impurity. If it is pure ghee, then it should be pure ghee. Some oil or something else should not be mixed in this. If somebody has mixed some oil in ghee and then it has been prepared, then we will say there is adulteration. So adulteration is impurity. So to a common man, pure word means having no adulteration or no impurity addition. So is it true for a scientist? For scientists also, he will say this as pure or no. So there is some difference. For scientists, pure word means only one type of substance. Only one type of substance. If there is only one type of substance, then scientist will say that it is pure. Now if we look at milk, okay, if we look at milk, whether it is purest form of milk, but according to scientists, there is presence of water, there is presence of fat, there is presence of proteins, maybe few more things are present. So according to scientists, that will be a mixture of these all things. Suppose there is only water, then it is pure form. Suppose there is only fat, then it is pure form. Suppose there is presence of only proteins, then it is pure. So from here what we came to know? We came to know that if a substance contains similar type of particles, then we say it as pure according to chemistry. Okay. Now let us discuss the definitions of pure substance and mixture. Now what is a pure substance? A pure substance consists of a single type of particles, or a substance is a pure substance if it is containing only single form of matter. Now if we see around, if we look around, then whatever mostly we see things, they are mixtures. Just like sea water is a mixture, minerals are mixtures, soil is mixture, they all come under the category of mixture. Now what is a mixture? Mixture are constituted by more than one kind of pure form of matter. Now see, if separately we take, then that substance will be pure substance. But when we take 2 or 3 pure substances and then we mix them, then it becomes mixture. Now let us take one example. Suppose we have dissolved sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is common salt which we eat. Okay, it is also called table salt. Now if we dissolve it in water, then it can be separated by a simple process of evaporation. This you might have studied in lower classes. During evaporation, what happens? Water vapors will move in the atmosphere and we will be left out with sodium chloride only. Okay. Now sodium chloride itself is a pure substance. Okay. Now if something is pure substance, and we want to divide it into its components, then by simple physical process we cannot do that. Okay. So this is to be remembered. Similarly, if we talk about sugar, then sugar itself is a pure substance. Why it is pure substance? Because when we take sugar, then its composition is the same throughout. Whatever sample we have taken, we will be getting same composition. Okay. So it comes under the category pure substance. So mixture means when two or more pure substances are mixed, then it is mixture. If there is presence of only one type of substance, then it is pure substance. Now, how many types of mixtures are available? We will be discussing here homogeneous mixtures and heterogeneous mixtures. Homo stands for same, hetero stands for different. So, with the help of one activity, we will be doing it. Let us divide the class in 4 groups, A, B, C and D. Group A, we have given 50 ml of water and 1 spatula of copper sulfate. Copper sulfate, you need to remember the formulae also. So copper sulfate formula is CuSO4. Okay, here C is capital, U is small, S is capital, O is capital. This is the symbol for, this is the formula of copper sulfate. Spatula is just like a spoon, which it is used in chemistry lab for taking out salt or some other substance from the container. Now this is the shape, this is like this, it is just like a spoon. So you can take any substance with the help of spatula, okay, from its container. Now what we do, we give 50 ml water and 1 spatula of copper sulfate to group A. To group B, what we do, we give 50 ml of water and 2 spatula of copper sulfate. To group C and D, what we say that you take any amount of copper sulfate and any amount of potassium permanganate and any amount of salt and mix that. Okay. So potassium permanganate formula is KMnO4. This is potassium permanganate. So formulae also you need to learn. So side by side you can keep a record of all the compounds which come. Okay. Now when you do it, then what will happen? Group A and B will get a mixture which you will find that it appears same from top to bottom, it will be same. If such mixture is there, then it is called homogeneous mixture. So what do we mean by homogeneous mixture? Homogeneous mixture means there is uniformity throughout the sample. Now there are few more examples. If we take salt dissolved in water or we take sugar dissolved in water, then they will also form homogeneous mixtures. Okay. Now group C and group D, who were given different amounts of samples without water and they were told that just to mix them. So they were given copper sulfate powder, potassium permanganate powder and so common salt powder in different ratios, and they were told just mix it. So after mixing we will get such substance in which there is no homogeneity, means that substance will not be same throughout the sample. If we take little bit from one side, we may get some portion which contains different amounts of other components, and if we take sample from other part, then it may contain all the components in any other ratio. Okay. So we will not find same ratio of all the components every time from all the sample. So such mixture is called heterogeneous mixture. So it means if we mix two or more substances in any ratio, then it gives heterogeneous mixture. Okay. We must get non-uniform composition. Uniform composition and non-uniform composition, this you can check now with the help of an example. See, this is the example. if we look at this, this is a glass of tea. So it is homogeneous because right from this to this, from wherever we take the sample, whether from here or here or here, it will take same. It means the components of this mixture are in the same ratio throughout the sample. This is the sample. So throughout the sample, throughout this whole sample, let me take from here, 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 here or here, we will get in the same ratio, same substance in the same ratio. But if we take, in this case, if I take something from here, I may get something else. If I take from here, I may get something else. If I take from here, I may get something else. If I take from here, I may get something else. So it means I am not getting the same thing throughout the sample. It means this sample is heterogeneous. I am getting the same thing from here, so it is homogeneous sample. Okay, so this is the difference between the two. Now let us do one more activity, because this we will be doing in the next part. There are three things which we should know: solution, suspension and colloidal solution. Okay, so what are these three things? Let us discuss with the help of one example. Now we have divided the class in four groups: A, B, C and D. A group is given few crystals of copper sulfate, whereas group B is given copper sulfate, but they are given more amount. One full spatula is given. Okay. Group C is given chalk powder. Let us take chalk powder. Okay. And group D is given milk. Okay. Now what they are told? They are told that you take these samples and dissolve in water with the help of glass rod. Glass rod is just like thermometer. Means it looks like thermometer. It is not thermometer. It is just like thermometer, made up of glass, and it is used to stir. We have to stir the components, and it helps in mixing the components. Okay. Now, few properties we will be checking. First, are the particles in the mixture visible? We have to see in all the four cases, can we see the particles or no? Okay. Then we will be sending a beam of light through the beakers. Okay. Then we will check whether we can see the path of beam or no. Path of beam means the way through which light has traveled. Okay. Second thing, this we will be seeing. Third thing, we will keep the mixtures undisturbed for some time, and then we will see whether the mixture in which something we dissolved, that dissolved thing settles down or it remains there. Okay, this is to be checked. Okay, then one more thing, we will filter all the four we will filter. Filtration, how it is done, it is shown in the next slide. So we will see whether after filtration it filters properly or some residue is left. Residue means some solid substance which remains on the filter paper, that is called residue. So if we observe all these things, then what will be the result? Group A and B will get solution, group C will get suspension, and group D will get colloidal solution. Okay. Now what are the different properties of solution, suspension and colloidal sol? This we are going to discuss in the next topic. Here, since solution word was there, so A and B are getting solution. This we can discuss. Solution means it will be a homogeneous solution. Okay, it will be a homogeneous solution, means we will find same ratio of all the components throughout the sample. Now see, this is the picture which shows the process of filtration. Now see what we do, we take a round filter paper, we fold it first, it becomes like this. Then what we do, we again fold it, and then we take 3 leaves on one side and 1 leaf on other side. It forms a cone. This is called filter cone. Now in this funnel we put this cone, okay, and with the help of glass rod we run the liquid which is to be filtered. Now this, whatever we obtain, this is called filtrate. And in case something settles here, then that will be termed as residue. Now if there is some solution, then in case of solution we will not get anything here, okay, nothing will be seen here. So it means that is a homogeneous solution. Now whatever we have done, on the basis of this you have to solve these assignments. Okay, thank you.